Well, hello there. Welcome to the story of us, from cosmic dawn to the depths of being. My name is Peyton Ellison, and I am your guest host today. To be the first guest host of the story of us is not only a big honor, but something that I enjoyed more than you could ever understand. In this episode of the story of us, I interview Jeff himself, my amazing father, and ask him some questions to mix it up. Everybody is always getting asked questions by Jeff on this podcast, and I figured it was time to put him under the spotlight. On this episode, we go into his role as a father, how it's been raising daughters, and his perspective on women, and even some fun little anecdotes about when I was a kid. I hope you enjoy it as much as I loved recording it. Here is Peyton Ellison, me, as your guest host of the story of us.
I knew this was coming, and I got to tell you, I really spent some time on my notes. So I want you to take over the mic. You be the host, and you'd ask me some
really
questions. And my commitment is, well, actually, I can't believe that we got this deep into the podcast and I didn't cry.
I am really
I'm like
shocked.
I'm a massive crier. Yeah.
I mean, even I teared up. I saw mom tearing up over there, and it tickled my nose a little bit too.
Well, let's see if we can get through these questions. So you're up. What questions do you
Okay.
have for me?
Dad, I'm so glad you're sitting here with me today. And I listened to some of your other episodes, and as amazing as they are, and as much as this is about your guest, nobody ever asked you any questions.
I love it. I think you're going to need to have either number one, you're either going to want to do a podcast of your own. You're really good at this.
Oh, thank you.
Or how about just a regular on the story of us?
I would love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I even just thought about the fact that I'm sure our time is a ticking, and we haven't even scratched the surface.
No, so much more to talk about.
Okay,
All right,
great.
fire away at
All
me.
right. I think to get started, I'll say something about you. One thing that amazes me about you is that you are the calmest person I have ever met. Someone who loves so deeply, acts so intentionally, and chooses each of their words with purpose. And even I've been in arguments with you or witnessed arguments, and you have this amazing ability. You physically sit back and I watch your mind work, and then you speak whatever you want to say. What are ways that I could be more like that, or a listener can be more like that? Like, what makes you have that ability?
All right, well, first off, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. That means more to me than you'll probably ever know. Man, it ain't easy, and I have worked really hard at it. I haven't always been this calm, but I really kind of like this version of myself. Um, it's a process. Um, I'm kind of currently stuck in this really funky space where I guess it's part of the evolution of being on a mindfulness journey. But it makes me feel like one day, like I kind of wake up and I feel like I got it all figured out. And then I'll wake up the next day and I feel like I'm on the verge of going utterly and completely insane.
Yeah, that's real.
You start thinking too deeply. You start, thinking about the purpose of life. You start tackling these big questions, and I literally feel like you're going to have to put me in the
Like you're
in the
drowning.
loony bin.
Yeah.
No, you're going to have to put me in the in the loony bin. But no, it's definitely been something that I've worked really, really hard at. Um, it's a process, and I think that's why they call things like meditation and yoga a practice. I think you have to work at it.
Yeah.
Practice doesn't make perfect. We talked about that when you were little and playing sports, but it does tend to lead to permanent, right?
Right.
So, I'll keep reminding myself that every single day. And every day I get up and I try to be a little bit better version of myself than I was. And hopefully you will never lose that. I want to talk about mindfulness for a little bit. I wrote down
Yeah.
some good notes here, but to me, mindfulness is a state of awareness that few people can really master.
Hmm. I agree.
Um, and if we're keeping it real, I have moments of being completely present, and then I let them slip away pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Being mindful is so important, and it's a skill. I hope that you and your mom and all of us can work on. So maybe you'll be my accountability partner
Oh, yeah. I need to
when
be
I
better
slip
about
up.
it too.
You know, one thing about being present and being mindful that I think is so important as it relates to being calm, chill, cool, calm, collected. Um, Mindfulness is kind of magic. Like in
Yeah,
many ways, if you do it right, it slows down time.
I agree.
I'm almost 50 years old. That's something I have a pretty strong interest in these days. So, looking back on my life, especially when I was your age, I was never present and almost never took time to enjoy the small things that I've learned to find, true joy in. When I was your age and older for a long time, I ruminated on some on the past, but, mostly my mind lived two steps ahead.
Yeah.
I was constantly living in the future. That lead probably led me to undiagnosed, constant underlying anxiety
Oh,
that I didn't even really
oh
take the time to realize. Um, I never acknowledged it. I mean, even now when I meditate and become aware of the thoughts that are racing through my head, they're almost always about the future. Like, when's my next meeting? What's for dinner? How am I going to live up to this person's expectation of of who I'm supposed to be later this week?
yeah.
It's total nonsense. But mindfulness is about living in the present moment,
Right.
not in the past. So the past that no longer exists. It's dissolved into the ether. Um, and it's not about the future. That doesn't exist either. It's not real. I love nerd books. Well, you like nerd books. I like smart
Different.
people books. That's what mom calls
Yes.
them.
I
But I
could see.
love Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's got this awesome quote.
Okay, hit me with it.
It says, "We are prisoners of the present in the perpetual transition from an inaccessible past to an unknowable future."
It's a lot to unpack.
Deep stuff.
Yeah. I want to share. You do these awesome, really insightful, like meditation practices. And I am not very good at those. My mind ruminates too much, and I'm really good at practicing being present and jotting down what I see, what I feel, what I smell, what I touch. But I did a 5-minute meditation the other day, and I'll walk you through it really quickly. She said, you sit down and you imagine yourself in a train station, and you're the silent observer of these trains coming and going and passing, but you're not getting on any of them. So in this moment, you're realizing that you're the observer of yourself, but every thought that comes in, rather than letting it sit there and getting on that train and staying with it, you put your thought in the cart and you watch it go away.
Yeah. So
It was really cool.
I've been taught that by meditation experts before too. But the
Oh,
way I
yeah.
think of it is a little bit calmer, helps you stay calm. Is that my mind is the sky, and when these thoughts or emotions that come in are clouds that are just passing by, and if
I've
I
heard
don't
that one
grab
too.
onto them, latch on and connect to them, it only takes a few seconds. You just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
You let it pass by. Just giving yourself the time to name an emotion, give it the little Jeep wave, the
Oh,
little,
yeah.
whatever, and then let it move on. Yeah, it's really powerful
Yeah.
stuff. I think that's one, excuse me, one of the keys to being, trying to be calm. But I want to give you the cheat code. A
Okay.
couple things to
Please.
remember
Please.
as it relates to that. Just remind yourself to pause for just a hot second. Don't jump first into whatever chaos that you're being dragged in by someone or something outside of you. Practice being what mom and I call a conscientious observer. It's like you still really care deeply, but you just don't have to put yourself into the thunderstorm,
You have to insert yourself. I
right? You
like
don't have to insert yourself. Um, get comfortable with not knowing. Like you don't have to be, grasping for the answer and it's got to come back immediately. You know, most of these storms that come at you, they pass
that. Yeah.
pretty quickly. Just don't engage. Stay rooted in love.
Yeah, I like that.
If your actions grow from love, they're going to bear good fruit.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Even if it takes time. Sometimes it does take time.
right.
Other cheat codes, I'm pretty bad at this one. Use fewer words, but mean all of them. It's like that four Toltec agreements. Be
Mm-hmm.
impeccable with your word. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of them. That's been probably the hardest for me and one that I fail at the most. I like to talk. And
Yep.
like when I
Yeah.
listen to myself talk, I realize that what I vomit out is like 80% complete bullshit.
Oh. You and me both.
So just be trying to be impeccable with your word, and maybe most of all, and this is really important for you to understand. You have to forgive yourself, and you have to forgive other people really, really quickly. Um,
That's something I think we can both work on.
Something that you said earlier kind of resonated with me, but it's this idea that forgiving yourself and forgiving other people. It's like when you stop carrying that weight, that's when you find moments of peace. But my best advice:
Okay, I'm ready.
never ever feel like you have this whole thing figured out. Stay inquisitive. Yeah. Right now, you have this urge to learn and grow and be a better version of yourself. You need to keep doing that forever and ever and ever because you're never going to be there.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
That's
thinking
my
about
gospel.
being very mindful and thinking deeply about something you might not have thought of until I asked you this question. How has being my dad changed you? But more than being the dad to Peyton, sure, that's great. I would love to hear your answer. But being a girl dad, like how has raising a daughter changed your perspective on women? Like, obviously, you married the coolest woman on the planet, and that's a different type of relationship. But raising a daughter and seeing her go through every stage of life, how has that changed?
Well, first off, it's fun.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's a balancing act, right? And so it's like
Yeah.
when you have a son, and my son and I have shared some amazing moments. We do guy stuff,
Right.
the dudes, but it brings balance to your life. Being your dad in many ways cracked me wide open in the very best way.
Mm.
It made me softer, kind of more attentive to the nuances that I might have walked past before that. You've taught me how to find joy in small moments like cuddling by a fire pit or making bold promises like we talked about earlier, or leaving a small note in a care package I know you'll open later,
It's still in my room.
sharing a cup of coffee on the couch. Before you came into my life, like I admired women. I did. Like I love women. They're great. But you taught me to cherish them, kind of rever them, and really kind of be awestruck by how badass women are. Um, Raising you as a daughter showed me that strength doesn't always look loud and that softness doesn't mean weakness, it means resilience. I started to notice really this kind of untalked about or unseen burden most women carry, the emotional intelligence that they wield like a superwoman, like a superpower, um, and how much of the world leans on women's unspoken courage, your bravery. We need women like your mom and you in the world. Um, Quite frankly, you and your mom have made me want to be a better person. And I try to do that every single day. Being your dad made me want to work harder, learn more about the world, and help build a world for you that's kinder, safer, more worthy of how amazing you are as a person.
You did a damn good job. Sorry, I'm
I'm
a little choked up here.
trying it.
A little choked up. I love that. That's awesome. I think you've always been a feminist at heart. I've always known that about you. I mean, come on.
I
It's
mean,
cool.
I cry at coffee commercials.
No, that doesn't make you a feminist. I'm saying you empower every woman around you. You work in an office full of women and you love it. You eat it up and it's great. You recognize that you recognize us for what we are. And I think a lot of men, especially in my generation, don't do that. And
I think they're scared too because they're scared of the power that women have. I mean, you guys,
right,
like,
we're scary.
I'm serious. We need a woman president, not just any woman president, but a pretty badass woman president. But um, yeah, if you can harness that power and you can let your ego aside, yeah, I have an executive team that's just about full of tremendous women that chew their right arm off to be successful, and they
Right.
lead with such heart, such passion. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Do we have time for a
Yeah,
question or more?
yeah. Let's go.
So we'll do something lighter. Just we'll get a little easy for a second. What's your favorite memory of me as a kid that I probably don't remember? Like something that maybe you don't talk about too often.
Yeah, I thought about this one. Thanks for giving me some heads up.
You're welcome.
And I don't know that I could come up with one that I know you won't remember, but I know there's one we don't talk about often that was really meaningful to me.
Okay.
And I think it was the first chance that we got when you were really young to really connect. Because, you know, from 6 to 9 or 10 years old, that time I was spending a lot of time with your brother coaching baseball and
Yeah.
doing baseball things. And you and your mom were together a lot. And us as a family were together a lot. But you and I weren't together a lot. And I
Yeah.
always saw a lot of you and me, but we never really got that chance to connect. And I think that we were on a kind of a random vacation with some friends in Hilton Head. And I woke up early one morning and I thought, I want to go watch the sunrise. And who do I want to do that with? And I grabbed you out of bed and you were a little cranky
That was
to
right.
start off with. But we got you dressed, and you and I, you were, gosh, I don't know what age you were, probably 5 or 6 years old, maybe 7 at the time. We walked down to the beach and you were a little sleepy, but that sun started coming up and you just woke right up. And we shared that moment together and I'll never forget that. And we stuck around and what turned out to be kind of a, oh, I don't want to do this, Dad. And oh, it's why does everyone else get to sleep in? It's dark
So
outside to
lazy.
watching the sun come up over the ocean and turned into laughs and giggles and some of the first times we started writing your name in the sand and taking your picture with it. We're gonna have to do that next time we go to the beach.
I still do it every time. I send you pictures on spring break and stuff, man.
You do, and
I make one of my friends just take me a picture of me, post it up with my name in the sand. It's awesome. I'm like 21 and I still do it.
I'll still love it too.
But I will say that's probably, I don't know, maybe that's what sparked my love for sunsets so much, or sunrises. Like that really special moment that I didn't expect to happen. Maybe that little part of me is what I think of when I see one.
Yeah, maybe. I always tell mom that's one of our most cherished moments is just stopping, pausing, and watching the sunset or the sunrise, and it's mostly sunsets. Your
Mm-hmm.
mom doesn't like to get out of bed for
I
the
mean, give
for
me
the
both. They
sunrises.
they put a sign
Um,
on my sunset spot. Have you not seen that?
oh no.
They called it, no, 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 it's fine. It's just like, they put, it's named now.
One of the questions that you asked me on there on
Mm-hmm.
this was that what was my favorite part of being a dad?
Yeah.
And that's tough. Being a dad is like at this point, like 99% of my self identity.
Yeah.
It's like who I am.
Yeah.
But okay. I'm gonna share it with you.
Please.
It's been watching you and your brother become.
Yeah.
And to me, what I think you need to understand is that as you get older, watching you become is like watching a sunrise in slow motion.
Okay. Explain that. Mm.
It's like watching a sunrise in slow motion and realizing, um, how cool is this? I get to be here for this. Yeah, how cool is that?
Hmm. Dad.
I'd say the hardest part about being a parent, it's never easy knowing that I can't protect you from everything. I think your mom probably feels the same way. Um, there's always going to be pain that we can't intercept or fend off or take one on the chin for you. There's always going to be lessons that we can't shortcut for you. But what I think that your mom and I try to do is we try to hold space and listen. Um, we can't be your lighthouse. We can be your lighthouse, but the ocean, the sea, that's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So GBG could be great.
GBG.
That's really the paradox of parenting, right? It's the blessing of parenting. It's the most fulfilling, rewarding part of parenting. It's also the most gut wrenchingly painful part of parenting. Is that when you hurt, we hurt deeply. But when you're happy and you're joyful and good things happen to you, we're happy and joyful too. So just riding that wave of emotion, that's being alive. That's what life is about. And you particularly have provided us with so many moments of joy, so many moments of being proud that we don't have to manufacture those ourselves. We can sit back and watch you and realize that we know you hurt, and we hurt right along with you. We all hurt, but at least now, um, man, it just makes me so happy to see how happy you are And to hear the words coming out of your mouth, I mean, gosh, it sounds like I'm talking to another 40-year-old. You
I've
seem
been
to
told
have,
that.
you have to, you know, I know you don't have this figured out. I don't have it figured out either, but damn, you feel
Oh
like you're
man,
on the right path.
thanks. I like that you said this quote, and I packed up my New York apartment, and I know exactly where it is in my bag, and take it to my room in Knoxville. And it was that first weekend you all dropped me off. You got me a little picture on the side of the road, and it said, "Your happiness makes me happy." And I walked by it every morning when I got ready, and I brushed my teeth and I did my stuff for work. Um, but I think that's a big testament to who you are.
Where you forget that you really are already here. You're right where you need to be, living the life that you choose. There's no, what was this, the Mel Robbins podcast that I sent to you? Like, there's
Yes.
no magic stopwatch or like timeline, despite what our society tells you. Like, you do you. You do not have to be on someone else's time frame of, I got to be married by this time and I should have this type of job and I should have, this type of home and I should live in this place and by this age I should already have accomplished this or this. Look, hey, this is your life. You get to live it. Slow down, enjoy it, and like we said, be mindful. I feel like one thing I would want to share with you is that kind of part of this slow down is, I think looking back at your life, I confused consistent, constant emotion with success.
Okay.
Meaning, as long as I was just kept moving really, really fast, I was
Mm,
being successful,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe if I had slowed down and asked myself some of the deep questions, I find a lot of joy and meaning in the career that I have now, helping chronic pain patients improve their quality of life. But it took me a long time to get there. And maybe if I had really listened to myself, listened to my heart, and actually slowed down and was mindful about, what is it that I want, not what do my parents expect of me, or what are my other friends doing and how do I compete with them? Maybe I would have gotten to there much sooner, but I also
Everything
said,
happens for a reason.
I it's interesting because one of the comments you made earlier was you were telling your 46-year-old version of yourself to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times what you mean is like, say yes to the things that you want to do, say yes to the things that matter to you. But I think one of my other, kind of lessons for you is I said yes way too much,
Yeah.
meaning not yes to myself, but yes to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Even when my soul, when my heart was saying, not today, Satan,
Not
or I'm
today.
not doing this. So what I wished is that I had protected my energy and my focus like it was sacred because it is sacred.
Protect your peace. Have you heard that before?
Yeah. Yeah. Protect your peace. I think that's good. All right. So here's my ask of you, and we'll wrap up the podcast this way.
Okay.
I got to have you back on again.
Yes, please. Time and
Um,
place.
but I have some things I want to leave you with.
Okay.
Number one, don't trade your peace for approval. That's a big one. Number two, don't trade your time for nickels.
Ooh, that's good.
Time,
Yeah.
as I get older, time is something that is really probably the most sacred, besides, I call you my treasure and you do feel like my treasure, but, the sacred treasure of your life is the amount of time that you have.
Precious.
And, a lot of people just trade, working for, an hourly wage. That's trading time for money. Don't do that, man. You got more in the tank than that. Um, don't dilute yourself just so you're digestible to other people.
Oh, that was good.
Your full strength, Peyton, is perfect.
I'm a lot, but
Oh,
a
in
lot
a
of
good
good
way.
things. Yeah, a lot of good things.
You'll like this one. Say no early and say it often.
Mm-hmm.
No is fine. And then finally, this will happen, but if you forget who you are, call me. I'll remind you.
Mm-hmm. I love you, Dad.
I love you too. I really enjoyed having you on the show today. You
Thank you for
taught me a
having me.
lot.
You taught me a lot, as always.
Well, thank you so much. You guys, if you are interested in learning more about Peyton and her lessons of life, I really encourage you to visit her blog on it's called
.com.
piecesofp.com, pieces of the letter P.com. So, Peyton, peace be with you.
And with your spirit. Thank you, Dad.
Talk to you soon.
Love you.